Well, good morning, folks. How's it going? John Deere 130G. So this is getting an iDig system install. Basically wireless sensors. It's a 2D system, but it also can go 3D with the laser. Pretty awesome system for the cost. So I'll show you how to install those and calibrate them and test them and all that stuff. And you know, before you start any piece of equipment, check the oil. This doesn't belong to me, so it's not mine. Check the oil. Alright, so looks like oil to me. Lots of it. That's all I need to see. Alright, we'll let that little guy warm up and I will show you. This is how cold it is out here. That's all frost. I'll show you what the... Alright, this is the iDig system. The expertise in machine guidance. Basically grade control, kind of, in a sense. More visual. It's an indicate system. It's 2D. But you can go 3D with this while using a laser. So, and the kit comes with pads. Everything is self-explanatory with these systems. We have, let's see here, we have the display, made in France. So we got a display. We got the light bar, basically keeps you on grade where you can just keep digging without watching your display. You can watch the light bar. Each one of these little LEDs you can set in increments from 100s up to, I don't know, wherever you want it, a foot spacing. So you can track yourself with your bucket. Everything is your bucket, your teeth. So how close are you to grade, and how offset right or left are you to grade. Very neat system. Comes with the sensors. This one's the bucket. Gives you a little diagram on the back. Another sensor. This one is the boom. Kind of the same as the bucket. They're interchangeable. You just have to basically go inside the system and tell it what you want to do. And the light bar. This is your laser receiver, basically, for going 3D. And then the one that isn't solar, these are all solar, no wires. This one is not solar. This is your body sensor, and it does have a cable. So it orientates the body, and that's it. I like, when I get these out of the package for the first time, I like to stick them in the sun, get a little charge on them before I do anything with them. That's it. That's iDig. Nothing to it. And let's see here. There it is. It comes with little alcohol pads to wipe down the back of these, get that manufacturer's oily stuff off, because they're actually stickers, 3M stickers. They stick pretty well. And I bring my own carburetor, choke, throttle cleaner, brake cleaner to clean the boom, the stick, the bucket, where I'm going to put the pad itself. So all you really need for an install is a little bit of mason line marker, a magnet, and something just to weigh to use as a weight for the line. A couple sockets, zip ties, and I lost my whole kit down inside the belly of a dozer, so I had to get some new Allen heads. So you'll need some Allen heads, zip ties, some paper towels, and that's all you need to install this system. Very, very simple, and it's awesome. I mean, if you go to the bucket teeth and you measure down to the ground with your tape measure, it's gonna be exact. And these things, I mean, they're not even, if you're off by hundredths, you know, that's how tight these systems are. They're just really awesome. You can catch your laser with it and keep you guided on track, and just all kinds of, it's just an awesome system for You can put them on larger size excavators, tiny excavators down to the smallest one. You can stick them on large excavators. So these systems will go on just about any kind of excavator you can think of. And they even have sensors for like a clamshell bucket, a tilt bucket, and for the blade out in front of the excavator. So you can basically grade with your blade. So yeah, let's get started. I think it's warmed up. Alright, to get started with an iDig system, basically want to just check out, this one has the quick coupler on it, so you can decide whether or not you want to put the sensor on the outside or on the inside. And if you do put it on the inside, which I have many times, you really have to choose a spot that doesn't, sometimes they have serial numbers there, sometimes they have the data plates there. So this side over here looks pretty decent, but then you're going to have to do a motion check and all that and make sure it doesn't hit. Anywhere on this system would be ideal, even right here. So as long as this all moves in conjunction with the bucket, you can put that sensor anywhere. I haven't decided where I'm going to put that one yet, but with the stick sensor, you want to put it, if I lay this system out like it is, you want to put it where you can reach it, okay, where it's not going to be interfering or get interfered with cables and wires and all that stuff, because they are removable. So if you want to take them off, you just click a little switch, you take them off and you put them in the dashboard of your car or truck and charge them up. Now the boom is going to be a little difficult because it is up high, but I guess if I go like this, step on the track, and if I set it right there, that'll be good enough for somebody to reach and take off. So keep that in mind when you're installing these sensors for the iDig. Stick them where you can reach them, take them off easily. And the good thing about this system is if you lose one of these sensors, because it is just sticky, it's a 3M sticky on there, if it falls off, the system automatically goes wonky, and it lets you know instantly, hey, I lost this sensor. Plus there's other ways to check, and I'll show you all that. So back to the bucket. Where am I going to stick this sensor? I don't like that spot right there. I don't. This is going to make it difficult because the pad has to fit in there and you have to be able to move it. And these guys are going to be digging footers mostly. This is a masonry company, so if I stick it up here, is it going to get hit, banged? This is the cleanest section. This is probably the wisest section to put it, just because it's easy to see if they are getting close to something, they don't want to damage it or something like that. It's just going to be a tough spot to put it anywhere else, I would say. It'd be a little bit difficult to put it in there. It's very nasty. I've cleaned those up before and put them in there, but this one looks like it's pretty tight with the movements, and it comes down pretty close. Don't want to hit the sensor. Alright, so let's start cleaning it up and install. Alright, so what I do on these installs, basically I just take this little bag that has the display mount and cables in it. I put the display in there. I put all the pieces and everything that's going to go into the cab, including the body sensor. This bag right here, everything in here is going inside the cab, okay? Now, all of this is going to be mounted, except for this one, which is the body. That's going to be mounted inside the cab too, but we still need to clean it off and put a sticky on it. So with these alcohol pads right here, just go ahead and wipe these down, and then we'll stick these 3M stickers on it. Alright, once you got the alcohol pad cleaned off on the mounts, try not to touch them with your fingers. Don't leave oil residue. This little one is for that, and this little one is for that, and let's see, this one is for that. They give you plenty of these stickers, so, and they give you a couple of these. We got one there, and we can use another one there. We might have to cut a little bit off the bottom of it, or if they were smart, let's see if they did that. Or you can use 3 of these. They were! Oh wow. Okay, so you don't have to cut any of that. And then you have some extras right here that you just give the customer. It's, you know, once things heat up and all that, alcohol just didn't look like it did a great job on that one. Weird. I'll clean that one off a little, these two off a little bit better. Alright, we got our pads on, and you just press them down. Just make sure they're on there really good. This one I did have to trim off the top just a little bit. No big deal. Alright, the next thing we need to do is find a spot for each of the sensors. Clean that spot with some brake cleaner and get that spot prepped and ready. And what I usually like to do, especially when it's cold out, when I install these when it's cold, is I like to heat that area up. Because if you ever seen paint when it's cold out, or warm out, I guess, like, you know, especially when it's cold out, if you apply heat to it, it sweats. There's water that comes out of the paint. So sweat the area, get that water out of there, dry it as best you can. I just use a little tiny heat gun and apply heat to the spots, and then I apply them, the sticky pads. So yeah, we'll do that. Alright, now all you need is a little bit of brake cleaner, clean it up, get that grease off. Alright, we'll start with the bucket first. Make sure you have the bucket sensor. Now these are actually activated when that little piece of plastic basically connects this system. So when that plastic comes down, you'll see this little light start chirping, and that's locked. So basically you want to, this bucket's sitting flat, so if you can make this as flat as possible, it doesn't really matter. I just kind of like to follow the metal, because you're going to calibrate this anyway. So we're going to put that right there, but before we do that, I like to take a black marker and I mark it where the sensor goes, because if that falls off, and you put it over here, the whole thing needs to be recalibrated. If you put it over here, if you put it this way, any way other than the way I originally installed it and calibrated, the whole thing needs to be recalibrated. So if it falls off, there's going to be a black mark going all the way around this sensor. You can put it straight back on that black mark with new sticky, and bam, you won't need to calibrate, okay? Alright, so that's where our sensor is going to go. And before I put anything down, and it's cold out, we need to just sweat this thing. And you'll see all that moisture start coming up. Just sweat it, let the air cool it, or dry off that sweat. And just do this for all of them. Look how much sweat there is. It's dripping. I'll dry it and I'll keep sweating until I don't get any moisture. I wish I had a larger propane heater, but this is good enough. It suffices. Doesn't take long to get that water sweat out of there. It is amazing how much water comes out of just that little tiny thin paint that's there. It'll just keep coming and coming and coming. And I got it pretty well dry now. Nice temperature on the side, so it'll stick well, especially on the bucket. This is what you really want to do for this spot, so you don't lose that sensor. It's a pain in the butt. Peel off that other end of the tape and apply pressure all around. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Get that thing to stick. And that 3M tape really sticks. I've had these sensors come off with paint, so once they're on there, they stay on there pretty good. And just let that sit. That's it. That's done. Now we'll do the stick. I'm going to put the stick right here, but I'm going to move the boom into the dig position and I'll show you why. Alright, normally I don't have to use a ladder. I'm usually working on the smaller ones, putting the iDig system on. But this sensor, it goes like this. Now, the best way to catch this laser is to have it straight up and down, okay? If it's cocked, it's still gonna catch it, but you're gonna have a better laser connection this way. So I put it in the most natural dig mode, which this would be, where they would start their dig and they can check with their laser, because the laser is just going to get them on track. And I find a spot where I could go vertical with it, like that, where you can take it on and off easily. I guess we don't have to have that much of a, well, it's probably better to go like that. We'll come down here just a tad like this, and we'll do it this way. Yep. It's got such a long boom on it. Oh, what to do. No matter what, when that laser hits one of these light diodes, basically, receivers, I think that looks fine right there, just like that. Okay. Alright, yeah, we'll put it just like that. That's the most natural. And then when you bring in your stick, it'll be slanted more like this, but it'll stay like this. If you put it like this, unless your stick is straight up and down, you're never going to get a really great reading. So that's why we put them at a slant like that. That's pretty much where you're going to start digging. It's going to get your best reading. And we'll put it just like this. And these light receivers, they go on the left-hand side with this one. It's interesting. All the other ones, they'd go on the right-hand side. Of course, there's a smaller kit. So interesting. But that's where we're going to put it. And we'll just sweat that real quick and make sure we can adhere it very well. Yeah, with these big sensor pads, I need a propane torch. There's not a whole lot of moisture in it. There's moisture down here. You see all that moisture down here? That's a lot of moisture. Look at all that right there. Whew. Just sweat it out. And just go back and forth. I have to do this a few times. Get all that moisture out of that paint. Just amazes me how much moisture is in paint. That is a big sensor, and it has some weight to it. If anything's going to fall off this system, it's going to be this one first, just because there's so much weight to the sensor with just a simple sticky pad. I feel like I got that adhered pretty well. Maybe someday they'll actually weld these pads down. They're stainless steel, so I guess you could, I don't know, I'm not sure how you do that. Drill a hole through it? I don't know if I'd drill a hole through my stick or my boom. I guess they could make them out of iron. Alright, that one's on there pretty good. So, if I got my laser running, and my laser's, I know that sun's amazing, right? That laser's hitting that, right? It's going to hit that spot right there. It's going to know, that's where you catch the laser. It's going to know how high the laser is. So if the laser hits that spot, you're going to know that area. All you need to do is bring your bucket up to it, up to that laser mark, the imaginary laser that we don't have out here right now, but we will in a few minutes. And that's how you keep the system on track. I'll show you how it works. Alright, with the boom sensor, basically you got the boom pin that's sitting behind the seat there, up to that boom pin right there. Just basically get an imaginary line going. And I measured it earlier, it's about 8.4 right there. We'll put that sensor at 8.4. And you can see my 8.4 line right there. All I need to do is set my sensor on that, draw my black line around it, sweat that spot, stick it. Now with these kits, anybody can purchase them and install them themselves. It's not something that you would need a trained technician to come out and do. As far as the calibration and all that's concerned, it's pretty self-explanatory. Tells you exactly what to do and how to do it. Plus, after this video, you should be able to do that with no problem. Go out and install it yourself. Even on a hot summer day, you want to sweat that paint, okay? Just get all the moisture out of it. It's amazing how much moisture's in that. I know I keep saying that, it just keeps amazing me. Every time. And I just blot it. You don't really want to wipe and smear. Just blot it dry, hit it a few more times. Alright, that's that. The rest is really easy. All you really have to do is figure out where you're going to put the body sensor in here. And also, if you don't have a cigarette lighter, which I'm hoping this one does, if it doesn't have a cigarette lighter, then you have to run straight to the battery. Or find switch power somewhere. Switch power would be best. So everything goes on the window. Basically, it's just a window suction cup mount for the light display, suction cup window mount inside for the display. Really simple. And find a spot for the body sensor and run a power. Usually these have 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter, but I don't see one on this. We'll check. Alright, yeah, this machine does have cigarette lighter. The 12-volt accessory terminal right there. It's got one there as well. So we'll have to see if that cable's long enough to run back there. It should be. Now, let's get into the kit real quick and see what we got. We got a display. That display usually just goes something like that. You know, you want to be able to see this display, so you just kick it up like that, somewhere over here. And just a suction cup gorilla mount, really simple. So wash the window where you think you're going to put it. Same thing with this one. This one usually goes down here for the light bar. Just make sure you don't hit it with the window. And I'll put it together and show you what it looks like. You'll see on the display mount, it has some connections on the back here. One goes to the light bar and one goes to the body sensor. That's it. The other ones are just diagnostics, and you'll see this connector tab down there. Just make sure the connector tab is the same. Just drops in, just like that. And to release it, basically just pull these two sides and it pops it right out. So this is interchangeable between machines. Those sensors are interchangeable between machines. All you basically need is a few wires for it. So that light bar is interchangeable between machines as well. Alright, let's throw it up there and see what it looks like. And I just used the little alcohol pad that they give you. Look how dirty that window was. They're pretty dirty. Just use a little alcohol pad, clean it off a few times in that spot that you're gonna stick it until it's clean. And we are gonna stick it just like that. That'll look good right there, easy. It's a pretty durable suction cup mount. You twist it to unlock and you twist it to lock and it sucks right to it. It's pretty awesome. And I usually put the little adjuster on the bottom. That way you can reach up underneath it, just loosen it up and you can reposition it wherever you want. They do bounce around a little bit, but for what it is and the cost of it and everything, for an indicate system, you can't get any better than this system. It's so simple. We can install this. So there you have it. You got your display and you got your light bar. So I can sit here and I can dig all day long, make sure that light bar doesn't get in the way of the handles or anything. I can sit here and dig all day long with just that light bar, as long as you set the system to where you need it. That light bar will work for you. Or you can sit here and watch the display. It's up to you. And I'll show you how that works as we go. Now it's time to figure out where we're going to put this body sensor, and just wire up some cables real quick. Cables are really simple. Like I said, one goes to the display, one goes, the power comes off of this box right here, so the power will go back to the back plug there. And this is the power cable right here. Looks long enough, so we'll just have to do a little tuck and cover, and one goes to the box from the light bar to the display, and the other one goes to the body sensor off the display. Really simple. Alright, that's one iDig system installed. Make sure they're attached. Again, you can lift these little latches off. You can take that and remove it at the end of the day. Same thing with this one. Same thing with that one. Okay. The body sensor, as you see, I put down there. I mean, you can take that with you, but the chances of somebody stealing that and finding that under there or carrying anything about it is very slim, so I don't know if I would waste my time with removing that one. There's your light bar. I ran the power cable underneath the floor, around the seat, and up here, so it's out of the way. It's not going to get damaged on anything. I ran the data cable from the light bar up. Just use some Velcro, kind of squeeze it in that little crack down here, wound it up there, brought it up here, and then from this end, you can use either or, down underneath this little cover, back underneath the floor right there, and just put a little piece of Velcro to hold that down, and right up into there for the body sensor. And that's it. Now, for the good part, I'll get this seat situated here. Alright, so this is adjustable. That looks like a perfect spot right there where you can see what you're doing, watch your light bar, and dig to your light, and you can still, with your peripheral, see the two right there, so that's perfect. And once in a while when you need to look up and make sure you're on track, there's your display. So let's turn the power on and make sure we have power. So that's good. So the iDig system will come up, and we gotta basically go through some calibration procedures. I don't think the system's gonna be in here. It might be. What I mean by that is there are a whole bunch of already measured machines that are in there, Kubotas and John Deere's and all that. A 130, I think this is, might be in there, might not be. We'll check. Alright, so when the system comes up, it's basically going to come to this screen right here. It's going to tell you somebody's already demoed it, tested it, or where there's going to be some test. That's the name of the machine, and that's your attachment, your bucket. You can have multiple attachments, multiple buckets. Basically, go to Edit Machine Parameters, and we're going to rename this. And this is going to be a capital J, D. Let's make sure we know what this thing is. It's a 130G, so we'll just put 130G. There we go. And where are the numbers at? 130G. And that's it. Green check mark, saves it, applies it. Now your boom As you see, our sensor's on the left side, left side. So make sure everything is on the left side, so your boom is on the left. Your dipper stick is what they call the stick. Left side, that's good. We can go into bucket. Bucket's on the left side, so that's good. Just need a couple measurements for that, height and width. Boom, basic length. Dipper stick, basic length. And when you get to the laser aspect of it, there's an AB and AC and side shift laser. The AB is, you basically take a string line from the boom pin there down to the bucket pin, create that string line, and then measure from A, which is the string line, over to a little spot on that sensor. That's that AB length. AC is going to be basically from sensor up to the boom pin. So 2 measurements there, but the third measurement is you need the width of that stick. So it's not showing you the width here, but the width of the stick itself, not the side width, the front width. Include the sensor. So you take the width of the stick, divide it by 2, and include the sensor. And that's basically drawing a measurement from the center of the boom, or center of the stick, over to the sensor, and is basically given the measurement for side shift laser. Okay? And that's pretty much it. Once you get those measurements in there, you can start to calibrate. So we'll take these measurements now. So we need a boom length, we need a stick length, we need to do that AB, AC, side shift, and measure the bucket. So here's where string line, a magnet, some weight for the string line, little piece of tape maybe, a pen and paper and a tape measure are gonna come in handy. So from that boom pin right there, we measure to this pin here, okay? That's gonna give us our boom length. And then from that pin down to, that's got a coupler on it. Oh, these couplers always bother me. So we'll go straight down. I don't remember if we go to that or that. Pretty sure we go to the coupler because they have the coupler measurement in there. I'll double check. I'm pretty sure we just go right here to the end of the stick because that has increased that size. Yeah, that's right. Go to this pin right here, because even though it has a coupler on it, we still take the length measurement up to this pin, not that pin, not the bucket pin, okay? So right here, the coupler pin. That gets the stick, and then you take the teeth up to this pin. That's the length for the bucket, and then you get the width of the teeth, and then you run your string line. So let's get these measurements. All right, so boom pin to pin, pretty self-explanatory. Boom to stick pin, self-explanatory. What I do at this point now, get my string line ready, just throw a magnet on it, stick it about in that position right there, because once it straightens up, it's going to be vertical, and your line should be over that pinhole right there, and you're going to just line it up down here. Once we bring the stick in, we can measure the bucket and we can measure the sensor off the string line. Alright, I know that, son. Sorry. There's a few different ways you can do this. String line or level, or, you know, however you want to shoot these pins. With a transit, you can do that too, which I might have to do just because, well, maybe not. Maybe I don't. If these thumbs stick out too much, then, but I just like to get them, I get them bouncing, so I actually got to bring that one in more. But we can measure up the bucket right now. And so we'll go from that tooth right there. Actually, it's not going to let me. Measure from the tooth up to that pin right there. It's kind of hard with one hand. Oh, that sun. Facing the wrong direction for this. So I just used my David White. Just lined up the pins right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot up to, because I got that straight line, shoot up to that spot and measure over to the center. And I need that measurement right there. And then I just need the measurement from that sensor up to that pin. So Alright, so I got that measurement. So now what you do, you just measure right where the sensor's sitting, measure the width of this, and we are exactly 0.75. And we'll divide that by 2. Alright, we got some basic measurements, so we can actually go in and enter these now. So our boom length is actually 15.12. This system allows you to do it in feet and inches and stuff like that. Right now it's in tenths international, so that's what we use, I believe. Let me just cancel out of there and go check. This is the working window. Let's go into basic settings, units. It's on percent and imperial. Okay, so that's what we need. You can put it on fractions for feet and inches. Alright, so that's good. That's what we want. System settings. And let's see here. We want to select an edit machine. Edit machine. Alright, so I thought we already renamed this once. I must have shut it down. This is JD 130 G, and apply. Boom length, what did we say? 12 point, or no, 15.12. Okay, and dipper stick is 9.88. Check. Left side, good. We'll get into the offsets when we calibrate. Bucket, we have, let's rename the bucket. This one is 2.94, so I'm going to rename that. Hold on a minute. Let me get this in inches. Alright, yeah, we're close enough to 3 feet width, so we'll just call it a 3-foot width bucket, and that's going to be the name in there. So you can have a 2-foot, you can have a 16-inch, you can whatever you want. And the basic measurements for this, our height was 4.26, and our width was 2.94. That's close enough to 3. It's on the left side, and we'll actually go in and calibrate afterwards. Alright, so it's showing the bucket like that because we haven't calibrated yet. So we'll calibrate, and we'll do all that. So we're ready for calibration. Oh yeah, one more thing. Let's set the laser while we're here. So the AB from line over to center of sensor was 0.03. I got that real close. And our AC, which I didn't get, I need to get, but our side shift is 0.445. Alright, so I just need to get the AC from sensor up to that pin. Alright, so sensor to center of that pin is 4.81. Alright, make sure those are in there. Apply. Alright, good. Now we can start to calibrate, and the first thing we calibrate is the body. And just straighten out. Don't forget to get out and actually look, make sure it looks straight. close. I can swing that back end to the left just a little bit more. Just a hair. Alright, that looks good right there. Alright, to calibrate the body from working window, this is what we call the working window. Go into settings. We'll go into system settings. And we'll go into 2D sensors. And calibrate. And here we can select the machine if it's in here. This is a John Deere. Oh, I forgot about this thing. It's not very friendly to the finger. You see how many machines are in here. Where's the J's? H-I-J should be right there. John Deere. See, they only have the 210, 35. They have the 210, the 35G, and the 50G. Alright, so we're going to have to do custom. Come on now. Come on now. Custom. So AB forward shift and right shift we'll have to do. That's basically how far away the boom pin is to center of rotation, stuff like that. So alright, so what's nice about this system is what I explained to you earlier. It's self-explanatory. If you read the page, everything, it's provided for you, so you can do this yourself without any knowledge. So because the machine is not in here, it needs two values, the AB and the BC, okay? But right there is a legend. It's going to show you exactly where to measure. So basically it wants the center of the boom, which is that boom pin right there. It wants the AB measurement over to the center of rotation. And then from the center of the boom, how far off is that center of rotation? Usually they're pretty well centered. There's the pump right there, the motor. So usually it's 0, 0, but it could be off a little bit. We'll see. So we'll measure that point, and we'll measure that point, and we'll throw those values in. Alright, so AB we got 1.75 and BC we got 0.10. Go back to parameters. So AB 1.75, BC 0.10. Just a tenth. Just a little difference that it's off. And that's it. You can go to next. Here's where you do your body, okay? So just raise up just a tad. We're already straight with the tracks. And just be careful of anything that's around you. Once you're set in position, just hit next. It's going to align. It's aligning this position right now, which is forward. And then it's going to ask you to go 90 degrees, another 90, another 90, until it goes all the way in there. It wants you to go to 90 degrees. It says align cab. Rotate the cab to 90 degrees clockwise. So we'll do that. And you see the numbers. It's counting. So once you get to 90, don't worry if the body's straight or not on the tracks. This is more for the sensor than it is for anything else. Sometimes it's a little touchy to get exactly there, but it'll tell you if it's stable or not. Bam. Once you're there, just hit next. And if you look, sometimes you're square, sometimes you're not. It just depends. And then it's asking you to go another 90. This is going to be 180, 179 actually. 179 and some change. Doesn't actually go to 180. Not negative, positive. So try to get it 179.99 would be the closest. And that's probably about as close as we're going to get, and you just hit next. It's going to align, and it's going to tell you to go 80. A negative 180 this time. Actually, it's a negative 90, isn't it? Yep, negative 90, so we need to go just a little bit more. Touchy, touchy, touchy. Ooh, so close. Oh, come on. Come on. And that thing is touchy. With the little ones, you can almost get out and just push it over. Alright, we're just going to hit it right there. That's close enough. Alright. Whew. And then it's done. So you can return back. And just hit done. And that's it. Body is calibrated. So wherever you go, the body is going to be calibrated. Now we just need to do the bucket, the stick, and the boom, and all that stuff. So, and to get the boom calibrated, you just have to get the pins level, and you just use a laser level. Measure that boom pin, dial it in. Razor lower this to dial that one in. And then when you run into problems like this, because I went up there and I measured the bottom of this to that level, actually got to come down quite a bit, and that's as far down as I can come with this boom and stick. So I'm going to have to use a different method. And I tried curling it in, and it actually, the pin is up higher when it's curled in. This is the lowest it'll go. So I'm going to have to find, like I'll have to go over there to that drop off and just do it down there. And that way I can bring my boom down. Interesting. Alright, yeah, you just got to tell that boom sensor what is level. That's all. So sometimes you got to do this. You get that pin down low enough. I mean, look how low that is. And I still don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I might have to move forward just a tad. Okay, that wasn't fun. You see my battery light blinking over there? It quit a few times. I took the batteries out, put them back in, so it gave me enough juice to shoot it. Settings, system settings. I believe this one is in select edit machine. Edit machine. There's your boom. So basically we need to tell it the right offset. Right now we're sitting at 0.0. So you just hit offset wizard, and it's going to recalculate. Whew. This is the horizontal, side to side, and there's the new offset. Negative 0.91 degrees. So what's that saying? Saying that sensor's off negative 0.91 degrees, which is fine with me. It's such a small amount. Okay, so the stick, basically we just get vertical, straight up and down, and we can do that over in a different spot. Let me put my laser away. We're done with it. I'm gonna need new batteries. I didn't have any C's on me. I think they're D's or C's. I think they're D's. staying alive now. I guess the trick is just to pop them out and put them back in. Alright, we'll go and do the stick now. So that's just vertical, pin to pin, straight up and down. We already have our transit situated. So. Alright, so we're vertical. That sun is impossible. Oh, I definitely picked the wrong direction to shoot that. And then you just need to go in here, make sure it's on the left side. The sensor's on the left side. Hit offset, offset wizard. This is vertical. And get the new offset for it. So, and apply. Ready? Beautiful. Alright, so now we just need to do the bucket. And the bucket is pretty self-explanatory too. Edit machine and bucket. So it has an offset for it there. The thing with the bucket, this is where your string line comes into play. You can either shoot it, you can either shoot the pin to the tooth, or just use a string line. Either way. So let me block the sun if I can. I just shot that pin to teeth, and if you want to double check, all you need is some string line and a magnet and a socket. There it is. So you can use the string line method as well, and it just has to pretty much match to the tip of the tooth. And if we look across it, we could probably nudge back just maybe 100s, 200s. It's right on this tooth. This was the tooth I was shooting. Guess we can leave it there. That's fine. This tooth is a little bent more than the others, and a little cut more than the others. I guess we can bump it back just a hair and just make sure that string line lines up down the teeth. And it does. Just make sure you're on that hole, that little pinhole, and that's good. And then you can calibrate the bucket with the wizard. Come in here, you go to the offset, wizard, and vertical, and there's your offset. Apply. Okay. Okay. And that's it. Your bucket should look like this. If it's backwards, then what you did is you told it that it was on the right side instead of the left side. So now what we'll do is we'll test it and measure it and play around with it, and I'll show you a few things. So we want to just double check. Might need that again later. I don't know how perfect that boom got. I hope it was alright, but we'll find out here in a minute. So the best thing to do is get you something that you can use as a little benchmark. And all you gotta do, go vertical. I just use that little X right there. Just touch down. Basically, go into the system, the one with the pencil right there, and just call that 0. That's our new surface. That's 0, okay? So if I raise up off of that, we'll come up 1, something easy right there. .25. If I measure that with my tape measure, it should be 1.25. And we are 1.25. Awesome. Now you want to check flat and vertical. You want to check the vertical. We just checked vertical, and we want to check flat now. Make sure it matches. So if we take our bucket, I've already called that surface 0, that yellow whatchamacallit. If we get right over it, and it is reading 1.70, 1.71, and if we measure up to that tooth, it should be 1.70, 1.71. There we go. Perfect. Right to the tip. That's a good system. Checks out. Nice. So now, that's calibrated, that's checked, it's good. So now we just need to go in and play with it. I'll show you how it works. Alright, so let's say you wanted to dig a trench, right? Okay? Alright, so we want to dig a trench. The best thing to do, the easiest thing to do, I'll start out with that, is just dig down, just get yourself something started. Just dig yourself something. You know you got to go 2 feet below that spot, right? Let's just say you got to go 2 feet down. So if I call this 0, that's now 0. But if I also tell it, let's go 2.0 feet down. So now you see how I'm raised up, right? So now if I go down, and you see the light bar, if I go down 2 feet and I dig, my light bar is going to turn green right here, and my tip of my tooth is going to be on that dark surface. You have hit 2 feet down. It's that simple. You can change that to anything you want. You can first call that ground 0, right? I want to go 6 feet down. There you go, 6 feet down. All you got to do is go down until the light turns green, and you're at 6 feet. Okay. Now let's see. There's a few other things here. That's the easiest thing to do. The other simplest thing to do, if you already know you need to go 2 feet down right there, just dig it out. And you can either use your tape measure and measure down or whatever, and then go down to the bottom of that surface and just come in here and call that ground 0. Okay? So I'm 2 feet down. I'm at the bottom of my trench where I want to continue 2 feet. I just called it 0. So no matter where I go digging, all I have to do is go to 0. Go to that green light right there. It's dig, 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 dig. If I come up, it's going to tell me I need to go down 2 feet to get back down to that surface. Now I'm back down at the bottom of the trench. I'm digging, 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 digging. There it is. Really simple indicate system. Okay. This has a few other nice features on it, and let me show you those. Let me bring this in. I don't dig this up too much. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Alright, let's just say we started right here. Bang. Alright, I'm going to call this ground 0. This is my new 0. Okay? And let's just say I need to cut a 5-foot trench out there. Okay? So we'll come in here, we'll go to our red ball. There's a red ball, there's a blue ball. Blue ball is your distance from an object. So basically, if I'm here, if I want to cut 2 feet over, then I just put in a negative 2 feet or a positive 2 feet, and it'll keep you on track that way. That's the blue ball. The red ball is your length from here to there. Okay, so let's go into red ball. And basically it's wanting to measure the machine, so select L. You have to realign the cab, so come on, select L. Alignment in progress. Alright, and there it is. So now if we go into this red ball right here, we say we want to cut a negative 6 feet. Do you see the little red ball it put there? So here's where my blade actually sits, ground 0. And if I reach out, I actually passed it. Come on back in. And And getting closer, getting closer. Let's reach out some more. This is hard to do one-handed. Bam. There's 6 feet from where we were. 6 feet exactly. So there's a 6-foot trench you just dug. And you got your side bars, you got your up bars, and plenty of features on this. It's such a simple system. You can basically get rid of that. Go in here, say I don't want to use the red ball anymore. So here's the other feature. Let's just drop this down, the blue ball. Touch right there, call it 0. There's a quick 0 button right here. Or you can go into the pencil and you can call it 0, okay? There's your 0. So now I want to stay aligned, okay? So to do that, we go to our blue ball to align it. And this is, come on. We want to do an L, alignment in progress. Okay, so it's align the cab. And basically we want to tell it we want to go 2.0 feet. So over here you'll see if I raise up and I swing over, it's decreasing that 2 feet until we match. That basically will keep you aligned side to side. If you needed to go exactly 2 feet off of a finished pad or something like that, you can follow this blue ball right here like that. That's 2 feet off, and you can follow it that way. Or if you come over here and you go 2 feet, you can follow it that way. And that's it. That's the system. It's so super simple. You can just turn that off. Now, the laser. And I'm going to have to set my laser up to catch this thing. So I'm going to have to bring it down somewhere I can reach it. So right there, I could probably reach it if it's on my ladder. Let me go set the laser up. I'll show you how to work. Alright, I got my laser up there. I don't know if it's working. We'll find out. Push that laser button, raise it up. I have to read this to you. Initial laser reference, catch the beam accurately. If you want to reference height, put your bucket tooth blade on the reference point, or catch the laser, and I'll show you how to do that. Here's where you can enter the height of the laser, which we don't know, but you could do that. That's that simple. Or you can simply just go in and catch the laser. I don't think my laser's working. Is it? Might be too high. Interesting. Alright, so here's where we catch the laser. If you raise it up, you'll see it goes red. If you lower it, we just lost our laser. Come on. Come on. Let me go restart it. Alright, we need to catch this thing quickly. So we'll just raise up. It's telling you exactly what to do. Raise up, come down just a touch till you see both those arrows. Oh, good grief, this thing is sensitive. You can calibrate it anywhere in there, it's fine. So stabilize. Oh, come on. This machine is just bouncy. see the red light? I mean, we're close. Just doesn't want to get on it. Come on. Oh. It's not this difficult. What I need to do is just bring it in a little bit more and then raise it up. It's really quick. I think the increments are set too low. We'll have to go in and check them. I don't want to lose my... Oh, you tell it to go up and it doesn't. It wants to jerk up. Come on. Come on, machine. I swear these hydraulics bleed. That's what it feels like. And it drops too much. Oh, good grief, this machine. Alright, we are close enough. We'll just wait for it to stabilize. We don't want it on fine. Alright, so we caught the laser. Alright, so there's your laser right there. I just went in and called it 0. You could call that laser anything you want. It looks like it's maybe, we'll just say 12 feet. 12 feet up. Okay, so your laser is 12 feet up right there, okay? Now, if you take your bucket and raise it up to 12, why isn't this moving? Hold on. Alright, I know why. We need to call this ground 0. Alright, so once we call this ground 0, we can bring this up. You can see these numbers right here. Try to get that to 0.0. Bam. That's my laser. I'm on my laser. So no matter where I go, this is ground 0. I know that. But if I go down this slope right here, and all I have to do is get that to 0.0, I'm right there. Or, here's another thing you can do. Raise your teeth up. Until your teeth are on that laser line. And call that 0. And then if you needed to cut, you know, whatever you need to cut, you can cut that. So the laser is just there to basically keep you on track as you move. Now every time you move, you have to re-catch that laser. And you can call that laser anything you want. If it's a known point, let's say we set it up on that finished pad over there, and we knew it was 5 feet up. We raised our... We could track over there, we can touch the ground, call it 0, we can raise up, or we can catch the laser, and we know that's 5 feet. So, let's see here. Yes, we want to delete the first laser catch. Let's go in and catch that laser one more time. And we'll call it 12 feet. Auto enable, it's counting. Bam, we caught it. That's our laser point. Come down, call ground 0. Okay? So now in order to get up to catch that laser, it's only actually 8.9. If we go up 8.9 feet, right there, bump it down just a touch. .9, that is where our laser is, right there on our teeth. We could call that 0. So now we know that's 8.9, right? Let's just say we got to cut and we have that laser. Let's just say that laser was over on our finished pad. We know it's 8.9. Our teeth are at 8.9, but we need to dig 3 feet below that finished pad everywhere we go. So all I have to do is add 3 feet to 8.9, and that's how far down I have to go. That's it. It's really simple. And the light bar and everything else, it's just, everything works. Now that's laser is just the 3D element to keep you on track where you go. So, but the easiest thing to do is what I showed you at first. You could come down here, call that ground 0. Let's get rid of our laser. We don't need it. We can come down here, touch this surface, call that ground 0. If we want to go down 3 feet, we tell it go down 3 feet. Bam. What it does is it raises up the surface. It looks like it's in the sky, but disregard the sky and the ground. That doesn't matter. And now we can cut down 3 feet. And our light bar is even telling us that. Now, the light bar increments. Work settings right here. So our resolution per LED is a 1/10 and 600ths. We can change that to anything we want. We can change that to a 1/10. Every 1/10 is a bar. We can go up to a foot. I think something like this, 2/10 is good. I would say probably half of the tooth would be good, or some kind of reference like that that would help you out. There's noise, there's sounds, there's alarms. You can turn all that off. You don't need any of that stuff. So we set that to 2/10. So every 2/10, that light bar is lighting up. One more light. Okay? And it depends on what you want to use. Like basic system, the first thing I do is I put it on fractions. Why? Because most people use most people with smaller equipment, I'm gonna say, use feet and inches. So now I changed it to feet and inches. They don't use tenths. They understand feet and inches. So now, let's see what that changed to, work settings. So that changed to 2.5 inches. And we can lower that down to just 2 inches, okay? And I think that'll work out good for whoever needs to use it. So every 2 inches, a light will come on. That's how simple that is. Now let's come down. We'll call this ground 0. And as you'll see, it's changed. Now you have feet, inches, and fractions. So you can put 1/4 of an inch, so stuff like that. So we can actually do 2 feet, 3 inches, and 1/4. We can call this surface. Okay, so now basically we can go down 2 feet, 3 inches, and 1/4 until we hit green, and that'll be the bottom of our trench. And once you get to the bottom of your trench, it's so simple. Once you start out like this, once you get to the bottom, let's just say I'm at the bottom of my trench, come in here, call it 0. Bam, I'm at 0. That's the bottom of my trench. I can keep digging forever at 0, and it's going to keep me straight. Okay? Now there's one more thing I need to show you. Here's your grade. You got single slope or dual slope. So a single slope, you got your positive, which is front end down, negative, which is your front end up. And this is different on the bigger machines with the TopCon systems. Positive is up for the front of the machine, negative is down. But a little different. Let's just say now you have to dig a negative slope. Real simple. We're going to put in a negative 2%. Alright? You can actually see the slope on there. So that negative actually is coming up this way. So it's coming up and it's going to be negative falling. Okay? Just like it shows in there. So if I touch there and I call that 0 and I raise this up and I bring it closer, I should be able to find my 2% line with my teeth. Or maybe not. Might not be that close. Come up just a little bit. Bam. Within a 1/4 inch. There is the difference with that 2% slope. Okay? Coming towards me. And that's it. Simple as that. You can turn it on and off. You can do dual. You can single. Level surface. Okay? That's it. This system is so darn simple. And I touch surface, I dig down, let's say I'm gonna dig 2 feet. I'm gonna dig 2 feet, get to the bottom of my trench, change that to 0, and now I can just finish my trench at 0. And to stay aligned, I can use my red ball. I can align my cab with an L shape. Come on now, align. There we go. Alright, so you see the blue line? Now, watch this. I'm going to raise up and I'm going to move my cab just a little bit to the right. Do you see the red line moving? And the blue line's over there? So if I need to keep my trench straight, I just use that feature right there. Bam. Put it back on the blue line. Now I'm cutting my trench straight again. Every 20 minutes, it's going to want you to recalculate. Alignment in progress. So it can keep you aligned. That's it. That's all the features on here. That's pretty much everything you need to worry about. Here's another feature. You can measure from the right tooth, left tooth, or middle. Okay? The middle is just basically the right and the left. Right tooth is right tooth, left tooth is left tooth, okay? And you can lock it or unlock it. And we'll bring that down. We'll call that ground 0. That's your quick 0 function right there. And you see it just kind of flops around between an 1/8 a little bit. And that's about it. And you have zoom in features, stuff like that. So here's your main settings, your work settings, system settings, basic settings, work settings again. Just a bunch of stuff that, you know, you really don't need to play with, but you may want to. Your laser level, if you want to change the increment for the LED, stuff like that. Your basic settings, if you want to change the language, the units, you want to check your sensors. These are solar powered, so your bucket sensor, it's telling you, there's the values, it's telling you it's at 100%. Your dipper stick sensor is at 100%, and your boom sensor is at 100%. Your body sensor is not lit up here because it's on power. It's not solar. So, and that's all you need to worry about. That's it, really. You don't really need to worry about any of these values. All you need to worry about is if you touch that surface right there, let's just say that left tooth, you call that 0, and you raise that up 8.5 8.5 inches, and you go out there with your tape measure and you measure that, that better be 8.5 inches. No matter where you put these teeth, you touch these teeth down, one tooth on that left side, you raise it up, 1 foot 5/8 inch, you measure, that better be 1 foot 5/8 inch. That's what you need to worry about as an operator. That shouldn't change unless you move a sensor or mess with the calibration somehow. But if you put that back on the ground where you had it, it should be within 1/8 of an inch or 0. Okay? So that's everything. It's a really simple system. You turn that red ball off there. There's your blue ball. That's it. That's everything. Your laser, just to keep you on track. Again, when you're using the laser, every time you move the tracks, you have to recalculate, retie into that laser, okay? The height of it's not going to change. It'll change on here just because your ground may change, but it's not going to change where it's catching it, basically. It's because your laser is going to be the same on that finished pad. So it's just going to recalculate where you are so that you can go down and dig properly off that laser line. That's it. That's everything. This system is ready to go to